Welcome to the International Surface Events Festival of Installation. The episode will begin shortly. While we are waiting, remember to tap the share button and host a watch party with your friends and colleagues. Feel free to post comments and ask questions throughout the episode. Our featured guests, sponsors and media partners are all available to respond to your comments while the episode airs and afterward. Make sure to tune in each week for our latest episodes. Well, without further delay, let's get the show started.
Hello friends, welcome back to the TISE TV Festival of Installation. I'm your host, Luke Miller, the Tile Money Guy, and I'll be here every week as we premiere a new installation demonstration.
The TISE Festival of Installation is brought to you by the National Tile Contractors Association. The NTCA is one of the fastest growing trade associations in the United States construction industry. Join today to realize the many benefits NTCA offers.
Laying herringbone patterns with tile can be quite tricky. It is a very popular design today. So in today's episode, the National Tile Contractors Association is going to guide us through some simple methods to determine the best herringbone pattern layouts for your project. Enjoy.
Centered and balanced. That sounds easy enough, but sometimes with a herringbone pattern, especially on the 45, it's a little bit different and it's a little bit more complicated. So we're going to lay out this module we have here with plank tile, herringbone pattern on a 45. So here's the center of from top to bottom and left to right. That's going to be our starting point. Next thing we need to do is center our tiles, put center marks on our tiles and look at the two different ways to lay it out. And look at the two different options we'll have when we lay this out that both give us centered and balance. With this herringbone on a 45, it gives you quite a bit of difference in appearance, especially in a small little wall like this that might be an accent area or something. So let's do that next.
You're watching the TISE Festival of Installation. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
Welcome to Workmaster Ultra Floor Systems and Solutions. Current options for refinishing floors is slow and inefficient. Your construction business needs to juggle multiple machines just to complete the job. Workmaster is the all-in-one machine for your construction business. With our innovative technology, you can resurface floors within 1/8 of an inch from the wall. Our Workmaster solution is great for all surfaces. Workmaster Ultra Floor Systems and Solutions.
Now we got to find the center of this tile. This tile is 36 inches long, so we know that 18 inches is going to be half of 36 inches. So we'll go ahead and mark that. As always, we check it in both directions to make sure it's where we want it to be. And then we're going to center it in the short direction. It's 6 inches, so 3 will be our center this direction. So there's the center of our tile. You see that? Now, because we're laying this on a 45, we can use our speed square. And we can just run it through the center of that X, both directions.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
The Voudura technology is what makes it unique. It might be the biggest innovation in hardwood flooring in decades. We have invented and patented a production method where we can use a thinner layer of wood than usual, but still create a durable and good looking real wood floor. We automatically fill the knots and cracks and reinforce the wood layer so it becomes 3 times harder than the original species.
Alright guys, we've got our mark on our plank tile right in the center. I just showed you how to get that. Now that we have our center part on the wall, we have our center part on our tile, we're just going to line those two together. So basically I'm lining one of the 2 lines in the X with the plumb line and the other line with the level line. And once I get them located right where I want them, I can now mark around the tile, and that's going to be the location of our first tile in the installation. We actually could take these marks off this first tile and create a chalk line as a reference line, and from that chalk line, if we were doing this on the floor, we could grid out the entire floor using this as our reference of where we wanted to start.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our network.
So quick review. We found the center on our area where we're going to install tile. We found the center on our tile, and we've just lined the 2 up. Once we line the 2 up, we've traced around that tile to give us a starting point. So from here to here, we could actually create chalk lines and do a grid pattern using this first line that we get. This gives us our starting point if we want to center this way. Now, if I have an accent wall like I have right here, and I just want to lay it out and get some idea of what the cuts are going to look like, an easy thing to do is just to dry lay and mark around the tiles to see what your cuts are going to look like. So these are identical in size, they're reverse images of each other, but this is a balanced layout. And this layout shows the entire herringbone pattern. The next layout I'm going to show you is, it has a completely different look. They're both centered and balanced, but this is one that you definitely want the designer or the owner to look at both options to see which one they would prefer. I'm going to take some time and I'm going to mark out where every tile goes on here, and then I'll show you afterwards, and that way you can make a decision. You can look at your cuts at the top and the bottom and then lay it out the other way and see which way works best. Guys, we got all of our pieces laid out for our mock-up doing herringbone on a 45. You can see where we got our center mark, level and plumb, and if we look at our cuts on each side, they're exactly the same in dimensions. Another thing, these points that are coming down line up with each other and are the same distance as the points on the other side. If you look at the top, we've got this little triangle up here. You see that little piece? We've got a matching one down here at the floor, a little piece. So everything's centered and balanced. You guys saw how we did that. We just centered a tile, and all the cuts are exactly the same size. Good way to lay everything out to make sure everything's centered and balanced according to ANSI, and see which way gives you the best result. Alright guys, I just showed you how I laid out this herringbone on a 45 in one way out of the center of the tile. I'm going to show you another way that we can lay it out, which gives you a completely different look. Remember, we've got our level lines and plumb lines, and one thing I meant to mention earlier but I forgot is once you get these level and plumb lines, that's your opportunity to check everything around. Make sure that the ceiling is level, make sure that the walls are plumb, and you can use these level and plumb lines to see what condition your job site is in, and if you need to do prep ahead of time. And you want to make sure and do that prep because it can really affect the outcome of your layout. You can also...
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
So lay a center mark off the end. And the way we want to do that is we want to find the center of the end of the tile. And again, these are 6-inch tiles. So I want to mark that right in the center of the tile. Double check it. Then I can take my speed square from that center point and create 2 marks. Now if I were to set this level, this one on the plumb line and this one on the level line, that would give me a center layout for my plank tile installation.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our network.
With this layout, I'm starting at the end of the tile, and you can see we're on a 45. I basically found the center of this tile, and I made 2 marks at a 45-degree angle. I'm just going to line these marks up with my center marks that I have on my substrate here that I'm getting ready to tile, get them lined up. Once I do that, I can mark the location of this first tile. Okay, so that's going to be where my first tile sets. Now if I was chalking out lines, I could use this as a reference point, come off of these marks and chalk a line and do a grid system. But because this is just a small accent wall, I'm going to lay this out by just drawing each piece on there to see what the cuts are going to look like. So now you can see we got a basic idea of where each tile is going to go. I can go all the way through this from top to bottom, figure out what all my cuts are before I get started. Then I can show that to the design person, the homeowner, or whoever makes the decisions, make sure they're aware of what they're going to get before you get started.
All right, tile friends. Well, sincerely from myself and the entire team at the International Surface event, we thank you for watching the 2021 TISE TV Festival of Installation. It's been a pleasure to be a host, and I appreciate all the DMs and PMs and conversation in the comment section that you've enjoyed this as well. So make sure to join myself and the rest of the industry at TISE 2022. This year it is in February, or I should say next year it's in February. 1st through the 3rd in Las Vegas. It is one of the ultimate shows that you can go to experience flooring, stone, and tile sourcing, as well as education, of course. If you cannot travel to Las Vegas, you do have options. You should definitely join everyone in Vegas in the TISE Live Virtual Event, Vegas Edition. So it's a hybrid event occurring alongside the in-person Las Vegas event. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Look mom! I made that!